Well, dear friends, the new year 2025 has begun, with which I, of course, want to congratulate you all and wish you only the best. Even though Bitcoin did not close last year above 100,000, we can safely say that 2024 was as positive as possible. And it changed the crypto market dramatically due to the same Bitcoin, halving, Trump's victory, general global acceptance, and the arrival of big players, as I talked about in the last video. But all these last year's events were just a preparation for the even more important 2025. After all, this year we are waiting for even more important events that will undoubtedly have a positive impact on Bitcoin, Ethereum, and other popular coins. Moreover, everything will start already in January because Trump will officially take office as President of the United States. In Congress will come about cryptocurrency politicians. And Gary Gensler, who is the main enemy of cryptocurrency in the United States, will finally leave the post of head of the SEC, which only increases the chances of accepting new crypto technocoins, such as Solana. Also this year, we are waiting for an important update for Ethereum, which will increase the scalability of the network and further reduce transaction fees, which according to experts will significantly increase inflows into ETFs and lead to the breakout of $5,000. Additionally, this year, many countries such as the United States, Switzerland, Hong Kong, as well as the BRICS countries will actively discuss the creation of a Bitcoin reserve, which in the case of the states should solve the problem of growing government debt. It is about these and many other events of 2025 that we will talk about today in the video. And we will also break down the main upcoming trends in the crypto market, which were provided by Forbes analysts. And at the end, we will pay attention to no less important negative factors. After all, many years of practice with crypto has shown that the bankruptcy of major exchanges, the sale of Bitcoin from states such as Germany, for example, or an increase in inflation in the United States, no one can cancel. Due to what these factors should definitely be taken into account. After all, it will help us more accurately predict and understand what we should prepare for this year. And this video is just the first part in our big trilogy, which consists of a breakdown of important events and a detailed Bitcoin forecast for 2025, as well as a big top of the most promising coins that are preparing to show the best growth percentage this year. And the speed of the release of the other two parts is directly dependent on you. After all, as soon as you reach 2,000 likes, we'll release the next video right away. So get your likes, subscribe if you haven't already, because you're on the Rookie Riches channel. Here we go. So, dear friends, hello everyone. Happy New Year once again. And as you have realized, today we are going to deal with the most important event of 2025. And since today there will be a lot of dates which will be difficult to remember at once, I recommend you to subscribe to our Telegram channel, because it is there that we publish all the events and the most important news before anyone else. And those who subscribe right now will get a ready calendar of events for January, to be ready in advance for important days on the crypto market. So go ahead, subscribe, because we are waiting for everyone. There's a reason I said at the beginning that 2025 is going to be a very busy year. After all, there is already a lot of interesting things waiting for us in January alone. So let's start exactly with January. And the first thing we should discuss is Trump's inauguration, which will take place on January 20th. But why is it so important? First of all, Trump's arrival in the White House is not only a change of party, but a complete change in crypto policy. Along with Trump, a large number of other pro-cryptocurrency politicians will be coming to Congress. The head of Education Fund said that there are things that the administration will be able to do immediately after Trump takes office. This includes adding to or completely repealing the executive order that Biden issued in 2022. The executive order drew negative opinion from some in the industry because of its emphasis on the risks of cryptocurrencies rather than their potential benefits. U.S. policymakers will have another chance to pass cryptocurrency legislation, as momentum may be on the industry side, helping bills gain momentum in the new year. Washington is expected to be the most pro-cryptocurrency Congress and support from the top, given Trump's many promises. Also likely to be brought up again is the Article 21 legislation that would allow everyone more control over the crypto market and actually regulate it. Of course, under Gensler, this would be a fiasco for cryptocurrency, but I remind you that he will be leaving the SEC entirely on the 20th, and Paul Atkins, who was appointed by Trump and is in favor of cryptocurrency, will take over. Consequently, the end of January already has a special significance for the whole year, as the government's completely new approach to the market will only have a positive impact. That is, of course, if Trump follows through on his promises. But with the arrival of the new SEC head, crypto investors will actively follow two more events that will take place on January 23rd and 25th. After all, these are the days when SEC should announce its decision on the Solana ETF applications. SEC will give its verdict on applications from companies such as VanEck 21 Shares, Canary, and Bitwise. And on the 23rd, we'll get a decision on Grayscale's ETF filings. Although the deadline is January 25th, there's a chance we'll get a decision sooner than that. Of course, there are chances that the SEC will reject the ETF, as the Commission views Solana as an unregulated security. But opinion could change once Paul Atkins becomes head of the SEC. At what expense, it's critical that the ruling comes no sooner than January 20. After all, before his departure, Gensler could spring a very unpleasant surprise at all. As of today, according to Polymarket, there's a 76% probability of a Solana ETF spot appearing in the US in 2025, which is pretty good. And as a former IBM executive and founder of the Solana L2 network, said the approval of the ETF will lead to a strong price increase, as many doubt such a decision by the SEC, and also, as I said in past videos, it is unlikely that these companies would spend their money being unsure about the approval of such ETFs. Believe me, such a procedure is not cheap. In any case, even if the SEC rejects these applications on the 23rd and 25th, the companies will be able to file a lawsuit asking the SEC to explain the reason for the rejection. And since Solana is not officially recognized as a security, there are chances to win such a case. But what about XRP? After all, Bitwise, Canary Capital, 21 Shares, and 21 Shares are also among the companies applying for approval of the XRP ETF. Ripple's recent victory against the SEC over whether the game is a security also increases the chances of the ETF being approved. The SEC, as usual, responds to applications with one within 30 days, but the approval process often drags on for several months. If current applications follow historical trends, decisions on spot XRP ETFs could come as early as the first or second quarter of 2025. But also, 2025 will be important for XRP in that the court case could be fully closed in the summer. Earlier, when asked when the SEC's case against Ripple might end, the company's lawyer said July 31st. Alternatively, a date of July 13th was voiced, which has been called a poetic turnaround. This takes into account the judge's ruling, analysis, and Torres. And in fact, Ripple will just have to pay the fine. So XRP 100% will remain in the spotlight this year, and in our future videos, you will be waiting for its price prediction. By the way, in the first quarter, we should also announce decisions on ETF applications for Litecoin, which were submitted this fall. Therefore, 25 can be called the year of ETFs. And also on January 20th will be held the World Economic Forum, which will be attended by leading economists, famous financiers, owners of banks, and large companies. Of course, there is no cryptocurrency among all the tech forums, but given the practice of past conferences, many of them touch on cryptocurrency. And given the current worldwide acceptance and the issue of Bitcoin reserve creation, there is a good chance that this conference will discuss Bitcoin as well as the crypto industry in general. So we will be watching. In fact, all these events are a great opportunity to lock in a profit. After all, as our past experience shows, coins react very actively to the SEC's decision. Therefore, to be prepared in advance for the market movements in January and throughout 2025, to stay on the plus side, join us in our Telegram channel, which will allow you to get the best entry points for for various coins on a daily basis. As well as already in the first days of the year, analysts have provided many profitable trades. All you have to do is follow the link in the description. Don't forget to support the video by liking and subscribing. In addition to Bitcoin, Ethereum will also receive special attention from investors, as an important network update called Pectra is coming in the first quarter. The update will improve the platform's scalability, staking mechanisms, and reduce transaction fees. According to the information, the head of the AV project emphasized the potential of the Ethereum Pectra update. The development will allow external accounts to function as smart contracts. This will greatly improve interactions with decentralized applications on L2 Ethereum. These changes are introduced to improve scalability, simplify DEP interaction, and increase user security. Consequently, the improvement encourages the adoption of Ethereum and also positively affects its price. After all, if we recall the last two updates, after which Ethereum moved to POS and staking withdrawal was opened, they were catalysts for growth. And this, in turn, will stimulate capital inflows into ETFs. Ethereum ETFs saw total inflows of over $2.6 billion last year. Of course, they still lag behind Bitcoin ETFs, which closed last year with net inflows of more than $35 billion. But analysts say that could change in 2025, especially if Ethereum's price momentum boosts ETF returns and regulators allow funds to profit from stacking. According to a recent report, Ethereum has outperformed Bitcoin in the spot market and derivatives since November. And there have been days when Ethereum ETF inflows have been much higher than Bitcoin's. And that suggests that there is interest in Ether from funds after all. For example, ETF store head Nate Gerasi said, "Currently, net inflows into the Ethereum ETF are at a similar pace to inflows into the gold ETF. But I expect fund inflows to accelerate from here on out." Also, according to Matt Haugen, head of research at the Bitwise Fund, there is a steady increase in network activity, including through AI scaling, can further boost Ethereum performance. Meanwhile, the VanEck Foundation estimates that Ethereum's spot price will breach $6,000 in the fourth quarter of this year. Meanwhile, according to another report, Trump's arrival could lead to the launch of new stacking Ethereum ETFs, which will further interest funds. So we will definitely be covering this issue in detail in future videos. Another important event in 2025 will be the FRS interest rate policy. After all, Powell said at the last meeting that they would not be in a hurry to cut rates as inflation shows no signs of falling. Investors expect the FRS to take a slow and cautious approach to further rate cuts as inflation continues to exceed the 2% annual target. According to the latest data, the probability of an interest rate cut in January is just over 11%, while the odds of a rate hold are at 88%. Basically, if the FRS leaves the rate unchanged, it should not have a negative impact on the market. In this situation, everything will depend on Powell's comments on the inflation data. And here it is very important that FRS does not raise the issue of rate hike, because it will be a serious blow to all markets. So before the FRS decision, we'll be keeping a close eye on the HPI data and the labor market reports, which will also be coming out on our Telegram. And so there are 2 rate cuts scheduled for this year, but hopefully the FRS will do a lot more. If we talk about trends and general forecasts for 2025, this issue has been analyzed by Forbes analysts who last year provided a large report consisting of 7 major forecasts. Let's briefly go through them. The first point is that the G20 or BRICS countries will create and announce a strategic Bitcoin reserve, which we have already partially discussed. There is now a real race to be the first major country to integrate Bitcoin into its reserve strategy to diversify it alongside traditional assets such as foreign exchange gold and government bonds. Such a move would not only strengthen Bitcoin's status as a global reserve asset, but could also change the dynamics of international finance with far-reaching economic and geopolitical implications. The creation of a Bitcoin reserve by any leading economy could be the beginning of a new era in the governance of a country. Forbes further reports that Bitcoin's growth will continue. It will also double and exceed $400 billion. The importance of this factor is that stablecoins is one of the main channels of capital inflow into cryptocurrency. After all, Before buying different coins, everyone transfers fiat into stable coins, and their growth on the background of new crypto laws in the United States will stimulate the growth of the market. The third point is Bitcoin DeFi with support 2 will become the dominant growth trend. Bitcoin is currently evolving beyond its role as a protective asset, and Layer 2 networks such as Stacks, BOB, CoreDAO, and others are unlocking the potential for a thriving Bitcoin DeFi ecosystem. These L2s increase Bitcoin's scalability and programmability, allowing DeFi to grow on the most secure and decentralized blockchain. Also worth mentioning here is SUI, which enables Bitcoin stacking. And probably, on this topic, we will even try to make a separate top with coins that work on Bitcoin. So if you are interested, write in the comments. The fourth point is Bitcoin ETFs will continue their growth and new cryptocurrency ETFs will emerge. Well, we've already talked about new crypto ETFs, and the rise of Bitcoin ETFs is already clear. Fifth point, the Magnificent Seven companies will add Bitcoin to their balance sheets. The Financial Accounting Standards Board introduced a special fair value rule for cryptocurrencies that went into effect after December. 15. These new standards require companies to report their foreign currency assets as Bitcoin at fair market value, reflecting both gains and losses from real-time market fluctuations. In total, they have $600 billion in cash reserves, giving them every opportunity to put some of their capital into Bitcoin with an improved accounting program and growing regulatory clarity. It is highly likely that one of these companies, besides Tesla, will add Bitcoin to its balance sheet. And if we take Tesla, the company could bring back Bitcoin as auto payments as early as this year because Bitcoin's clean energy usage is now above 50%. Previously, Elon Musk said that Tesla will accept Bitcoin payments again when its clean energy usage exceeds 50%. So let's wait to see what Musk, who has taken up residence at Trump's house, has to say. Section 6. The total crypto market capitalization will exceed $8 trillion. Last year, a new all-time high of $3.8 trillion was broken. But it is easy to guess that the demand of cryptocurrency policy, the market will grow, as well as attract new developers who will work on new interesting projects. Well, and the seventh and final point is the revival of startups, due to which the US will return as a global auto giant. The arrival of new SEC head Paul Atkins should have a positive impact on the market. Former SEC Commissioner Atkins is known for his pro-crypto stance, as well as his support for deregulation in initiatives such as the Token Alliance. His approach promises a more compatible regulatory framework, fostering innovation rather than stifling it as Gensler has done. So we'll look forward to January 20th. But despite the fact that 2025 promises to be a positive year, there are also potential factors that could have a negative impact on the crypto market. Such events are called black swan events, the probability of which is very low. But nevertheless, they should not be ruled out. A clear example is the beginning of the pandemic, the collapse of Terra Luna, or the bankruptcy of FTX in 2022. For one thing, the continuing case between Ripple and the SEC over XRP remains unresolved. A potentially unfavorable decision in July 2025 could negatively impact not only the price of XRP, but the entire market. And in this case, it will all depend on the new head of the SEC. Second, as CEO Jamie Dimon and other financial experts warned of a potential recession last year, the implications for the crypto market could also be severe. An economic downturn in 2025 could trigger a liquidity crisis and bankrupt over-leveraged crypto firms and depress coin prices. This factor will directly depend on Trump's economic policies as well as the FRS, which will have to keep inflation in check and not put a lot of pressure on the market. Well, and thirdly, it is Trump's promise concerning cryptocurrency. Of course, pro-cryptocurrency Trump's position caused optimism among investors, and Bitcoin broke through 100,000. But you see, failing to fulfill his campaign promises, of which Trump had a lot, can lead to a lot of disappointment. Markets tied to his expected policies could run into trouble if his administration backtracks on its crypto rhetoric. But given all the developments I've outlined today, 2025 promises to be a more positive year nonetheless. But of course, it will still depend on cycles. After all, considering last year, the active growth of cryptocurrency began only in the fourth quarter. But just like that, we will make a more accurate prediction on the Bitcoin price movement in the next video. As well as before each event, we will try to release new videos where we will analyze everything in detail. So be sure to subscribe, click the bell to be the first to watch new videos, write comments, and don't forget to go to Telegram channel, where you will find a calendar of events for January. And I wish you good luck. Thanks for watching. See you soon.